Continue our conversation with our panel right here with me on the National News Desk, political commentator and Newsmax insider Clarence McKee, Skyping in from the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains in Georgia, retired police detective Tom Whatley. Tom, let me go to you first. That video, the behavior troubling, to put it diplomatically. The police showed incredible restraint until, of course, she started advocating physical assaults upon their persons, and then she was escorted downtown. It's tough enough to be a cop, but with the advent of social media and the emboldened left, your take on that episode?
Well, not only the advent of social media to spread the hatred, but also to the lack of support all the way up to the #1 leader in the free world. He's clearly shown that he doesn't support police officers. Okay, he wrote a little letter, "We have your backs," only after the Dallas sniper shootings, and that was I have to do this or I'm going to be in trouble. So I do believe that, hey, we all have freedom of speech. But when you go and you reach that level that you're making threats and you're inciting people, no, it's clearly there's not one state in this union it's not against the law. You cannot incite violence on whether it's police officers or anyone. And clearly this woman may have some issues, and I hope she gets some help.
Yeah, she's got some issues because she's seen what has happened publicly. And she's seen the kind of discourse that we get there. There's something else going on from political leaders as the anti-Trump protests continue. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, now get this, he's urging all Americans to join protests to, quote, take away his power, talking about Donald Trump. This is what Mayor de Blasio of New York said earlier this week in a radio interview.
We need to hold Trump accountable for anything he does that encourages hate and division. Because think about it, again, he does not have a popular vote mandate. And the more extreme he is, the more people fight back, the more it takes away his power.
So that's de Blasio on the radio. Now, Clarence, he just showed up today, and he comes out, he goes to Trump Tower, and he's, I told the president this and that. You know, the big 6'6" socialist was on bended knee saying, please don't take away my federal funding. But this is the kind of disconnect you get from the left.
This is exactly why Trump won. The lady in the video, people like that on the far left, de Blasio and his protect illegal immigrants at any cost. That's why millions and millions of Americans who are hardworking Americans voted against Hillary in that crowd. As Tom said, they're anti-cop, they're pro Black Lives Matter. If you say all lives matter, they're against you. The American people rejected that. They're going to reject de Blasio, and he'll get defeated in a couple of years, too.
Well, after all, the name of this program is America Talks Live. So let's go to the phones and hear what might be on the mind of Americans. And to do so, gentlemen, we first go at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629 to our 49th state, to Barrow, Alaska, where Mike is on the line. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning, JD.
Good to have you, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, I got an interesting view on how Trump won the election. I run a little tour business here in Barrow. It's a little Eskimo village on the northernmost part of the state. And I take people out from all over the United States, actually all over the world. In my window at the house, I have I support Trump sign. I also have Veterans for Trump, as my wife is a retired veteran from the Air Guard. As we drove by, people would say, are you a Trump supporter? And I said, yes. And I take people from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, California. I mean, a lot of those folks come up, and every single one of them would say, we support Trump, but we can't put a sign in our yard. We can't put a bumper sticker on our car. Our car will be vandalized. Our house will be egged or worse. People destroy our stuff, but we're behind him 100%. And I think it was that underlying group of people that were, I won't say intimidated by the left, but just didn't want the confrontation, just like that lady you just showed on the video. They didn't want that, and so they just kept quiet, and when it came time to vote, they went in and pulled the lever. I also have a lot of people, international people, that made comments about the United States in general. I said, where do we stand with you folks? And they were from Portugal and from Brazil and all over the place. and they would say, we respect the United States, we respect the president, we don't care for the man.
Interesting. I especially like what you had to say, Mike, about, as I almost lose my chair here rolling back on live television, maybe your findings knocked me off my seat, because I'm thinking, Clarence, listening to Mike talk, Nixon talked about a silent majority. We said it was going to be present here, a hidden Trump vote, and Mike is offering verification from those in the lower 48 who came to visit him there in Barrow over the summer.
You know what it reminds me of? The left. If you have to be in a country where you're afraid to express your political views, it's like fascism, it really is. They're always accusing the right of being fascist, right? But these are the people who are burning buildings, killing people, trying to kill people, and beating people up, pulling them out of the cars. So Mike was fortunate to be up there. We didn't have to deal with that. But it's the real fear down here. There's still people who don't want to say they voted for Trump.
But there's something else going on in the lower 48s, maybe not in the northeastern corridor, but I'm interested in hearing from Tom as he was making the drive up in Georgia. Toby Roth, my old congressional colleague, talked about driving from Virginia all the way up to the Dakotas, and he was struck by the number of Trump signs he saw in the small towns and on the rural byways of America. Now, the election's been over a week, but Tom, when you were in transit to the Blue Ridge Mountains there in Georgia, did you still see a lot of Trump signs out there?
Yeah, JD, they're still up, and I did see a lot. And this is the county I'm in now is a predominantly Trump county. In fact, I believe that he won this county, hands down. The county that I reside in full time is a predominantly Hillary country. And I didn't, I saw more Trump signs than I did Hillary signs. And it was amazing because I kept looking for them. And occasionally I'd see one, in a median strip, but lots of Trump signs all over the county that I reside in.
So very interesting. We take a look at it despite the dominant media culture. And this almost takes us back to the distrust of the mass media. People in their hometowns putting up what they had to say in one sense. And then Mike saying, don't forget about that secret ballot in places where it's been traditionally a leftist stronghold. The secret ballot hung on and prevailed for Trump. Listen, you guys are doing such a good job today. We're cooking with gas. We're not going to call your agents. We're going to just ask your beneficence to hang in with us for one more block, because Clarence has written the great column for Newsmax.com as one of our insiders that we really need to get to, because the title in and of itself is somewhat provocative, and you've been hearing from people. And of course, we're always happy to hear from you, no matter where you are. More phone calls in the queue at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629.